Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. And if you're here for the Christmas collaboration, I'm just so happy to have you here and to actually be part of this. It's so exciting for such a small crafter like me to be in with people like Gail Augustinelli and Corey Dahlman and Happiness and Crafting, and like, there are some real heavy hitters, and then there's little old me. So this is part of Christmas Craft Off 24, hosted by Rachel and Bella Crafts. There are approximately 60 crafters. There are two crafters, like 2 channels a day and a prompt. And the Rachel and Bella has the prompt list on her website, which I will link down below. And this is me, Beyond Brass, and my prompt for today is what's hidden under there. So what I want to do, I've got a bunch of stuff on my desk, and I'll show you what I've got and what we'll need. So what I want to do is they're kind of a combination of a trifold and a gatefold. And the prompt being what's under there is kind of, to me, like a secret, something hidden. So you've got your trifold, you keep going, and there's under there. And then there's a little secret door, and hey, what's under there? So you can put all kinds of little things in there. You can make pockets in them, so that you've got like extra little tuck spots, so like what's in there even. Or you can glue them totally shut, so they're just a single piece, no pocket. You can do them upside down so that the pocket is at the bottom. Yeah, that was a prototype that only went part way, and then I went, yep. And then this was my original prototype, so it's not quite done, just so that I could like make sure that it would work. So what you're going to need is a ruler, X-Acto knife, bone folder, pencil. Pencil is really important. Your glue, whatever glue you're going to use, and 1 sheet of either US letter size or A4. I'm using coffee dyed. You can use, you can actually get away with using regular copy paper because it's 2 thicknesses. If you're doing a pocket, it's nice to have a little bit sturdier weight of paper, but don't go for something really heavy like a cardstock, because it'll just get too thick by the time you've got 2 thicknesses and then folded, so you've got 3 thicknesses. It just will get too thick, way too thick. So to begin, and then I've printed off some digitals. So the digitals I'm using, these are the file folders. They're part of the ephemera pack. This is one of the kit pages, printed 2 to a page. Then from the kit pages, I've printed all of the, or no, not all of the collage papers, but 2 of the collage papers from the end of the kit. This is one of the other file folders because we want the door. Another one of the collage papers. And then I printed out the larger tags because these images might work on the doors of the gatefolds. So to start with, I will write all the dimensions down below, but to start with, you're going to need paper cut 4 inches high by 9 inches wide. So 4 by 9. Now you have 2 pieces of paper that should be the same size, both 9 inches wide, 4 inches high. You want to have a trifold. So in order to have the trifold, you need a panel that's 3 inches. So at 3 inches on both sides, you can score this with a scoreboard, but mark the 3 inch. So now you have 3 panels, 3, 3, 3. And fold those. Like I said, you can use the scoreboard to do this if you want to be accurate. Because this line is even and this line is even, you should be able to just fold that to the line, burnish it down with your bone folder, and then come in at the other one. And you want to come as close to this fold so that they come over top of one another as you possibly can. And again, burnish down. For the second piece of paper, you don't actually want to burnish down, like you don't want to fold it in 3. What you want to do instead is fold it in half, like this. And there's a reason for this, I'll show you in a sec. This is your gatefold in the center. What you'll do here is you will come in with your ruler at that fold line and cut it along the fold line. Try to be even. I'm going to put that messy cut on the outside edge. So I'm just going to flip these around like that. Perhaps like, yeah. Pretend I did that right. I can't cut a straight line if my life depends on it. From here, what you want to do, if you're going to make these into pockets, glue around 3 edges and glue on what would be your bottom piece. And if you do this, pay really close attention when you're gluing your little images on each one of the little panels, that you put it upside right. Also known as the right way around. Don't put them on upside down so that your pocket is at the bottom like I did. Not once, but twice. Yeah. If you want to be really sure that you don't wind up putting your images on the wrong way, you can notch the top edge where the pocket is going to be, but you want to be really careful that you put it in the center of where your pocket is going to be, so glue them down first. Now, one of the things that you want to do is you want to make sure that your little cut lines up. Okay. That's going to bother me. 1 second. You want your gatefold part to be right in the middle. In order to do that, I line it up as I glue it down, which can be a bit of a pain, especially if you're using something like art glitter glue, which has virtually no wiggle room. If you glue from the edge to the center, when you fold this in, this line will gap, and you don't actually want it to gap. You want it to be flush here so that when you put the image on here, you can't tell that there's a little flap there. So we have a little fold here. So to make it easy, you can bring your ruler to the fold and just kind of go like this, which is backwards, but it's fine because you're going to fold it the other way. And then bring it to where you folded it here. You can also use the scoreboard to do this if you prefer, but it's all going to be fine. And then fold it down so that it's facing the correct direction and burnish it so that it's going to stay folded. And make sure that when you burnish it that it's actually straight, not crooked. There. Now you have basically a little trifold with a gatefold, a secret little gatefold. Now for the hardest bit. To get the image of the door dead center, take your ruler and line it up against the center of the door and draw a line with a pencil. This part is really important because you want to know where the middle of the door is. Now take those two little pencil lines and line them up against, it will be really helpful if you've got a mat with grid lines on it. Line this pencil line up against one of your grid lines on your mat, and you want this image here and all the images that come on here to be 3.5 inches high by 2.5 inches wide. That'd be inches. So that's how big that image needs to be. Cut this fairly close to the bottom of your door. You can move it around a little bit. Or cut it the other way so you can actually see the bottom of the door when you're cutting. I've done a few of these as prototypes, so I kind of know how much is left of this piece. Yeah. You'll notice that that doesn't look even. It is even. We know it's even because that line's straight down the middle of the door, and that's what is really important. Now we're going to cut from there to wherever to be 3.5 inches. Take the line of your door, line it up on one of your main inch marks and go 1.25 inches on either side of that center line of your door and cut off the remainder of the piece of paper. So this here is 1.25 inches, and on this side will be 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches plus 1.25 inches is 2.5. Now you have a little door. You could conceivably take that and glue it straight down in the center, matching up your little pencil line, but you wouldn't be able to get your gatefold open. And somebody's actually going to make sure that the pockets are facing up before I cut. I'm going to make sure my Oh, yeah, never mind. I need to see what I'm doing. So just take your, yeah, there's that word sew again. Take your ruler and X-Acto knife and line it up against the pencil mark you drew and cut your door in half. Don't be scared. Now you have 2 pieces of door. If you want to be dead accurate that this is 1/4 of an inch from the bottom, you can measure, but I am not worried about that. I've quilted for so many years, I know that I can eyeball a 1/4 of an inch. Line that up and glue flush to the edge. When you glue this piece down, the door has lines in it. You want to make sure that the lines of the door match up between the 2 sides. It's more important that the lines of the door match up than that you've got it like dead on accurate, that 1/4 of an inch. And again, you want that to be flush to the edge. And then you can burnish that down a little bit. And that should lay flat. It may bunch up a little bit when you close it. Just kind of allow, as you're closing it, for one of those to go underneath the other. You can also come in here if there's a little bit of excess top and bottom that you're like here. It's got a little excess. You can come and trim that off if it's too much for you. Now I'm going to pick images to go on these panels, this panel, and this panel. If you're putting this into a journal, clipping it in with, say, a paper clip, you also want an image on the back here. But if you're gluing it into your journal, you don't need an image on the back. And you don't need an image on the back necessarily if it's going on in a pocket. It's up to you whether you put an image here. Okay, so I think I've got all my little images figured out. Some of them come from the tags, some of them come from the file folders. Remember, all these little ones are 3.5 inches high by 2.5 inches wide. I really want to use that like Christmas, like, yeah, really wanted to use that Christmas. These panels on the inside are going to give you a little bit more space in between the image on each side here, because you've allowed for 1/4 of an inch, and that gives you about a 1/2 inch gap there. If that bothers you, make these 2 just a small bit wider than the 2.5 inches wide, but not a lot, because it will be really obvious that you did it a little bit bigger. And it looks like this one is a tiny bit bigger than the 2.5 or 3.5. Yep. So I need to take a little off the top and a little off the bottom. I thought I had that one trimmed down, but I didn't. And 2, 3.5. If you're using this tree, it's a little bit trickier. If you're using the presents as a guideline, you wind up either cutting off the presents or the star. You kind of have to judge which one of the two you want more. And they're fussy cuts, so you know, you could put presents back under the tree. All right, that's that. This is from one of the file folders. And this tree is from one of the collage papers. And this is from one of the file folders as well. It's the only way that you can get these three small enough to actually fit on here. Same with these. They're too wide to fit as the three of them together. There's, on one of the collage papers, they are larger and you can cut them so that you only have two of the three. But I thought it would be nice to put all three of them on there just because. I'm going to trim this a little bit here so that it's even. I think it's possible I didn't fold that quite right. And then in here, I'm going to put, this is from one of the tags. Oh, and I did it again that I forgot to cut out the images that go in here. And then one sec, I need to cut one more image. I figured seeing as I cut that too small, I might as well go with the one that it didn't matter. And I'm going to put that in the middle so that there's less than 1/4 of an inch all the way around on all the sides of that. But you could put it like all the way to the edge here or all the way to the edge here. Whatever you prefer. So there you have it, a little gatefold with a trifold. with little pockets. And, of course, you could add some fussy cuts. Here it is with some fussy cuts added. I added a number at the top here. Of course, needed to put some presents under the tree. I added the this big star. There was a portion of it up in this corner, and I covered it with a bigger one, and then added a bit of washi tape. This is the one that came from Cocoa Daisy that looks like it belongs with these digital collage kit. This little bit of gold, I had tried a different washi in the corner here, but I didn't like how it looked, and when I pulled it off, it turned out that the gold foiling on the washi tape was on the inside of the washi tape, so it left a little gold, and I kind of like how that turned out. I suppose I could put a little bit of washi tape down here to cover it, but I wasn't 100% sure this actually, well, hey, it pulled in half. So let's just add that, because we can. Might go that way because of the, yeah, that works. And then on this side, I just added some washi here and here, nothing else, but you could add stuff down here. And it seemed appropriate to put the snowman, basically saying, come in, come in. And then I didn't put anything on here, but again, you could put like anything on that inside if you felt like it. And then don't forget to check out Little Nest Crafts, her video today, and find out what she did for the prompt, what's hidden under there. And I hope that you have a wonderful crafty day, and thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed and came back and watched more. Until next time, have a lovely crafty day. Bye!